a major position in the incoming cabinet.
I think most people think that would be a responsible choice.
Reportedly going to a senator from South Florida. Migrant workers in Florida facing deportation fears.
Their families are about to be ripped apart, maybe.
Ahead in a live report. And parade ceremonies and tributes.
Jill and I want you to know we see you.
As the country celebrates and recognizes our veterans on a special holiday, Caplin News is live from our DC bureau. These stories and more coming up on Newsbreak.
Hello, South Florida. I'm Nicolette Esper.
And I'm Emma Alonso. Today is Tuesday, November 12th, 2024.
Live from the Lee Caplin School of Journalism and Media in North Miami, this is Caplin News.
South Florida Secretary, a familiar name reportedly tied to a major cabinet position. Reports this morning that President-elect Donald Trump will pick Florida Senator Marco Rubio to serve as Secretary of State.
Sources say earlier yesterday Trump was leaning towards picking Rick Grenell, who served as Trump's ambassador to Germany and later as acting director of national intelligence. But as the day wore on, Trump shifted his position and it is believed he will now select Rubio. The high-profile transitions come as Republicans regain control of the Senate after 4 years in the minority.
I think most people think that would be a responsible choice. It would be somebody who does know international relations, who has been around these issues now ever since he got into the Senate.
Rubio has experience in foreign policy. The three-term senator is currently a member of both the Senate Intelligence and Foreign Relations Committees.
This morning, passengers on a Spirit Airlines flight are back in South Florida after a scary moment in the air. A travel advisory is in place in Haiti after civil unrest in the country affected a flight headed from Fort Lauderdale Hollywood International Airport. The Spirit Airlines plane was shot 4 times from Haiti's capital, Port-au-Prince. A spokesperson for the airline said no minor injuries were reported from inside the plane and no passengers were injured. The flight diverted to the Dominican Republic.
Mass deportations are a big concern, especially here in Florida, following the victory by President-elect Trump.
More now from Caplin News' Alejandro Marquina, live in North Miami.
Thank you, Nicolette and Emma. As we now know, President-elect Donald Trump has promised massive deportations in day one of his second term. This is concerning millions of migrant families across the country, including in the Sunshine State. Right now, there are 90 workers from Mexico harvesting cucumbers at Long and Scott Farms in Mount Dora. But they're not undocumented. They're here as part of the H-2A visa program that allows foreign nationals to work temporarily in the U.S.
There's no such thing as paying people under the table. You can't afford it, can't afford the penalties if you get caught.
H-2A visa workers numbers roughly 350,000 across the nation, with about 60,000 in Florida, working all kinds of jobs, but a big chunk of them in agriculture. Rick Freeman owns citrus groves in Central Florida and uses dozens of Mexican farm workers on visas. He says growers who are following the law have no worries about President-elect Trump's mass deportation plan.
It ain't going to have any effect on us because we spent the last 15 years switching to H-2A.
Besides agriculture, the industries likely most affected by the deportation plan are construction, waste management, hospitality, and food service and retail.
People are afraid.
Felipe Sousa Lazabal is an executive director of the Hope Community Center in Apopka. He provided services for 20,000 people, some of them undocumented. They'll be providing counseling and training for them before Donald Trump is sworn in.
There are 700,000 U.S. citizens who have at least one undocumented person in their family in Florida. All these 700,000 U.S. citizens are having these conversations with their family members. Their families are about to be ripped apart, maybe.
And according to the Immigration Council, mass deportation could have a negative effect on U.S. finances. Reporting from Biscayne Bay Live, I'm Alejandro Marquina.
Veterans and their families were celebrated with parades, ceremonies, and tributes throughout the entire country this week, commemorating more than 70 years since Veterans Day. This became a federal holiday.
DC Bureau reporter Samantha Gutierrez is near the nation's capital, joining us live with a high-profile salute to these soldiers.
Special ceremonies around DC paid tribute to the almost 17 million men and women who served in the U.S. military, including about 600,000 from the DC area. President Joe Biden delivered remarks here in the Arlington Cemetery. President Biden laid a wreath at the tomb of the unknown soldier.
Jill and I want you to know we see you.
The remains of 3 unidentified soldiers are buried at the tomb, one from World War I, another from World War II, and the third from the Korean War. This is the last veteran holiday Biden will observe as the head of the military forces.
It's been the greatest honor of my life to lead you, to serve you, to care for you, to defend you, just as you defended us.
World War II veterans were honored with a parade of heroes at the National World War II Memorial. 7 received the Greatest Generation commemorative coin. Wreath-laying ceremonies also took place at the Korean War Veterans Memorial and the Vietnam Veterans Memorial nearby. Some miles away in Maryland, Governor Wes Moore held a ceremony to celebrate abolitionist and military nurse Harriet Tubman's contribution to the military, promoting her to Brigadier General in the Maryland National Guard nearly 160 years after her service.
This is a person who is one of the greatest Marylanders we've ever known, and someone who was willing to risk her own freedom, her own safety, her own life in order to help others.
Tubman, most famous for the Underground Railroad, was the first black woman to serve in the U.S. military in combat.
That is patriotism, that's heroism, and so it's only appropriate that we now have a General Harriet Tubman.
This was the very first time Tubman has officially been recognized for her military service. Reporting live from Arlington, Virginia, I'm Samantha Gutierrez for Caplin News.
It's a taste of the sweet life as a South Florida landmark wraps up the first full week of its season, and Caplin's Julian Lascano gives us a taste of Knott's Berry Farm.
Fall season is here, which means Knott's Berry Farms is back serving up some of their world-famous cinnamon rolls and milkshakes. With lines spanning several hours long, fans want to come from all over Florida to enjoy these decadent treats. Open from Monday to Saturday at 8 a.m. to 5:30 p.m., Knott's Berry Farm sells a variety of baked goods and sweets such as milkshakes, pies, brownies, and especially cinnamon rolls. These treats are part of a seasonal tradition that is driving everyone crazy for a taste.
Yeah, we have been watching on Instagram their stories about the cinnamon rolls, and so we got cinnamon rolls and cheese rolls, pecan rolls, so we're excited to try them all.
This is our first time here, so we heard about the cinnamon rolls, and that's what we came for. We picked up a few other things.
Knott's Berry Farm started out as a vegetable farm by Jess and Harley Knott's when they moved from Missouri to Miami in the early 1920s. In 1954, the family decided to begin raising strawberries and selling them on a small roadside stand just a couple houses away from the farm. It wasn't until a broker tried some of their cookies where the idea of a bakery was born.
Yeah, I think it's a tradition. The Knott's Berry Farm is a tradition that people wait for this time of the year to come and start the holiday, so I think it's a tradition, yeah. A long wait, sometimes you get lucky, sometimes there's not much of a wait, but this time it was a 3 hours wait, so it was worth it. It is worth it.
Knott's Berry Farm is also known for their U-pick of strawberries and tomatoes and should be ripe and ready to pick by early December. From humble beginnings to social media sensations, Knott's Berry Farm has cemented itself as a fall tradition unlike any other. So whether you want to drown yourself in a creamy homemade milkshake or gorge yourself in a round, fluffy, and warm cinnamon bun, come down to Knott's Berry Farm and see what the craze is about. My name is Julian Lascano reporting for Caplin News.
And the Dolphins get off to a quick start under the Monday Night Lights.
And that story is still ahead, and so is this one.
They are young men who come to do a job. They're young and they come to demonstrate what they want to do for their team when they wear the jersey. And that is what the veteran players on the team will notice.
The MLB season is over, but there was still some action over the weekend at Lone Depot Park. Newsbreak will be back in 2 minutes.
The black truck? Hey, Christina from accounting.
Yeah, hi.
Hey, I used to date a girl named Christina.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and then she dumped me for my best friend. You want to see some photos of them that I took?
I don't.
I thought we talked about this, buddy.
Buzzed and overshared again?
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm gonna call a car.
That's a smart idea.
So yeah, I know, that's why I did it.
Hey, you're gonna get back to the top of the mountain.
Does that mean I'm gonna get back with Christina?
No.
Oh.
No.
are a lot of ways to reach out to a friend about their mental health. Learn how you can help at seizetheawkward.org.
Bill is a family man. He invests his money wisely and provides a good life for his children. Just one problem. He often opens emails from senders he doesn't know, and his computer is not password protected. One day, Bill checked his bank account and 94% of malware attacks originate from emails. Don't be like Bill. Take your cybersecurity seriously.
Play ball. The home of the Marlins hosts a group of teams that traveled from farther away than we're used to. This past weekend, Lone Depot Park held a first-of-its-kind event.
As Caplin Adrian Lora reports, 6 teams battled it out to see who would become the first ever Choque de Gigantes champions.
Lone Depot Park is best known for their wide range of cultural events, such as the World Baseball Classic and Caribbean Series that just took place. But now there's a new baseball tournament happening that not many people know of, but deserves more recognition. Allow me to present to you Choque de Gigantes. For the first time ever, Lone Depot Park hosted the Choque de Gigantes, or Clash of the Giants event, which is a 3-day winter baseball tournament this past weekend, which featured 6 teams from Venezuela, Puerto Rico, and the Dominican Republic. Among those baseball players competing in this tournament is former Major League Baseball infielder Pablo Sandoval, who looks at star power on the team and his presence on the field.
They are young men who come to do a job. They're young and they come to demonstrate what they want to do for their team when they wear the jersey. And that is what the veteran players on the team will notice.
There was also action off the field, as in between games there were many Caribbean concerts throughout the weekend. However, the weekend was filled with thrilling moments and spectacular plays, with each team giving it their all in front of the passionate fans. From late inning scoring to elite pitching, every match was a roller coaster, and it was filled with intense emotions.
I feel like I'm a person that matured late, and I feel like I have a lot more to give if given the opportunity.
And an opportunity he got for his team, as the Navegantes de Magallanes of Venezuela emerged victorious in extra innings by a score of 4-3, making history as the first ever team to win the Choque de Gigantes. Let this tournament be a reminder that Lone Depot Park is always known for bringing their cultural diversity together all in one place, and we should expect many more of these cultural events sooner than later. Reporting for Caplin News at Lone Depot Park, I'm Agent Laura.
It was an upsetting weekend for South Florida football with a winless streak that was until the Miami Dolphins played last night in Los Angeles and had a thrilling win. Miami was strong with an 18-yard run turned touchdown from Malik Washington, and Tyreek Hill shared the spotlight with a touchdown of his own in the second half. The defense, however, were the stars of the show, keeping the Rams from scoring a single touchdown. The final score was Dolphins 23, LA Rams 15. The Dolphins are back home to host the Las Vegas Raiders next Sunday at 1 p.m. You're watching Newsbreak, and we're coming right back.
Radcliffe Art and Design Incubator is the velocity accompanying the fellow's rudder, as in a boat. Unless there is movement or action, the planned direction is of little consequence. We encourage the creative ideas into action, and from the experience of doing, we critically assess the feedback, adjust, and set out to rediscover the potentialities of an entrepreneurial mindset.
It's precise, no margin for error.
Dare to forget that. Dare to have fun with it. Get weird with it. Dare to send those old STEM theories flying past the neighbor's house into outer space. Dare to program something internet-breaking, record-breaking. Dare to blow their minds. Dare to learn the difference between sedimentary and metamorphic rock. Go find those rocks. Dare to keep daring. Dare to STEM. Check out She Can STEM to get started.
That's all the time we have for Newsbreak. I'm Emma Alonso.
I'm Nicolette Esper. Get more news anytime at caplinnews.fiu.edu.